Good morning, folks. It's Chad here with Chad's RV Reviews. It is the official final day of the 2025 Airstream International Club, ACI Club International Rally here in York, Pennsylvania. And it's actually pack-up day. It's Friday. So there's already a lot of Airstreams that have left the building. And Laura and I decided to take it slow this morning since it's our last day and have breakfast. We got to clean up camp, get everything packed up, and then head home. And I got to be back at work tomorrow, so it'll be a busy weekend for me. But I wanted to talk a little bit about it. You guys have seen, if you've watched a lot of our videos, especially Wondering Watson's videos that we do. The first one we posted was from Ocean Lakes last year. We just posted that not too long ago, so check that out. It's episode 1. In that video, you saw that I've been towing with the Gen Y Torsion Hitch, the Boss. So we are towing with a 2500. I'm also currently towing with no weight distribution with this truck, just to kind of see how it goes. And this will be the first kind of long trip, I guess, that we do where we don't have the weight distribution on. Boss Torsion Hitch, I think is what it's called. And we've also not been towing with weight distribution. And a lot of people asked in the comments to talk about that, and so I'm going to talk about it. And I want to say, first off, I'm not recommending that you tow without weight distribution or without sway bars. I do think that that's something that everyone, kind of every person has to figure out for themselves as far as what is going to be the best towing scenario for them, or tow setup, I should say. I think picking the right truck for your trailer is just as important as getting the right hitch for your setup as well. Now, I've been towing my whole life. My family started an RV dealership years ago, and I grew up around RVs. I grew up around towing RVs and things like that. And so I'm not new at towing. If you watch KYD, you know that Mark is also towing on the ball, as we call it, so without weight distribution or sway hitches. And he, it says in his videos he's not had any issues. Laura and I have also not had any issues towing on the ball, but we're also towing with a 3/4 ton truck that has 3,000 pounds of payload, a 6,000 pound rear axle. Like it's got plenty of capability. You definitely could not tow a 25-foot full width, 8 foot 5.5 inches bodied Airstream on a half-ton pickup without some help. So I kind of want to just talk a little bit about why we're doing what we're doing, and I also want to point you in some directions. There's a group on YouTube called RV Geeks. They've been around forever. They used to have a motorhome. They now have a travel trailer, and they have a video they just posted about making sure you pick the right truck for your trailer and how to figure out all the numbers. They've created a great spreadsheet, and I thought, instead of me doing that, trying to do that whole thing, I'm just going to point you to their video because they did a great job. Plus, you should follow those guys. They're fantastic. They have a lot of great videos. I've learned a ton from them over the years. As far as weight distribution or not, I think it depends a little bit on your tow history or tow experience. I think it also depends on whether or not you have a larger truck versus a smaller truck, and a larger trailer versus a smaller trailer. I found with the classics, even though they have tow assist built into them now, the 2025 Classic and now 2026, we found that people are still wanting to have weight distribution just to make sure things kind of stay straight and a little bit more, what would you say, grounded, planted. And we found that even with those in the right truck, weight distribution has not been terrible. Something else I want to mention, on your rear beds, you take Mark and Tris, for instance, they have a big generator up front, so they've got a lot of tongue weight. Their tongue weight is definitely in that 10 to 15% category for towing. And that's really where sway comes from, is not having the 10 to 15% weight on your tongue. So if your trailer weighs 7,000 pounds, your tongue needs to weigh at a minimum of 700 pounds. So 10% is what your tongue weight needs to be. So our experience with the Gen Y and towing on the ball has been great. We love it. I'm not going to recommend it for everyone. I think you should, if you're brand new to towing, I think you should get weight distribution. I think you should have a little bit of sway help, and use that. And then as you get comfortable, maybe try a trip or two just towing on the ball and without, you know, equal-i-zer or Blue Wax or Pro Pride, whatever it is. All those hitches are great. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you shouldn't use them. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying that it's something that you've got to figure out yourself. And I can tell you what works for me, just as, you know, Mark tells you what works for him. For us, I really like the way our Flying Cloud tows with our 3/4 ton Ram pickup. That's a gas engine, 4-wheel drive, with the Gen Y. The Gen Y basically separates the trailer from the truck a little bit. So as you're going up and down, you know, if this is the truck and this is the trailer, it can move up and down on its own. The truck can move up and down on its own. So as they're moving through, they can kind of just do what they need to. And I really feel like it provides a better ride. The other thing I want to mention is tire pressure is as important to this discussion as really which hitch to use or which truck to use. And tire pressure on your trailer, Airstream recommends on the side, on the sticker, 80 psi. Well, 80 psi is for max trailer or max payload on that tire. The max payload on like these Goodyear Endurance tires that we have, they're 15-inch, is somewhere around 10,000 to 11,000 pounds of payload. Well, our trailer weighs somewhere around 6,500 pounds. So that's double the payload capacity of what these tires are rated for. So we have lowered our tire pressure based on the Goodyear Endurance chart in our specific tire. We're running at a lower pressure. I'm not going to tell you what I'm running at, because I don't want you just to do that. If you're going to do it, I want you to first weigh your trailer, weigh the tongue, know what your actual weight is of the trailer, and then I want you to use the Goodyear tire chart to look at what your tires should be at. And you're going to take your number, the overall weight of your trailer, divide it by 4, and that's what you need each tire to be able to handle. And then what I would say is go at GVWR, so GVWR of your trailer, and give a little bit of room. You definitely want to be below GVWR with how much your trailer actually weighs. So if you're over GVWR, gross vehicle weight rating, then you're going to need to take some stuff out of your trailer to get it below it. But I like the kind of rule of thumb I like to say is look at what your GVWR is, your gross vehicle weight rating, find where that's going to be on the chart, and maybe go one more up so you get a little bit of room. But you're going to find that your trailer tows way better. It will tow way better because you don't have the trailer bouncing up and down a ton, because it's not just sitting on top of the road. It's actually going to be more planted in the road. And that was the first thing I noticed when we started towing with, well, I guess when we really got the tire pressure right, the towing experience improved significantly. Like, it was way better than what it had been, because it felt like we were just kind of sitting on top of the road instead of in the road, like planted in the road. When we lowered our tire pressure based on the chart, everything kind of settled into the road better. It tracked better. The whole experience was better, and I think the ride for our Airstream was quite a bit better as well. So I highly recommend doing that. That would be a good first step. Anytime I have somebody call me and say, "Hey Chad, we just got home from our first tow, and all the pillows are in the floor. We've got 2 rivets. We got 2 or 3 rivets popped out on the inside. What's going on? Is that normal?" And the first thing I'm going to say is, "Are you running your tire pressure at 80 psi?" And 100% of the time, the answer to that question is yes. And I'll say, okay, well, at least lower it down a little bit. Use the tire pressure. Use the chart. Figure out what your weight needs to be based on the weight of your trailer, and go from go from there. But don't just go 80 psi. I know that our techs tell you that because that's what the side of the trailer says. That's what Airstream's going to tell you. But look at the Goodyear Endurance payload chart, and that will tell you what it needs to be. And I promise it will tow better. You'll have, your stuff won't be in the floor. You'll have rivets popping every time you go somewhere. And it'll be much better, and it'll tow better too. So do that in your towing experience, or for your towing experience. But what I'll say with towing the Gen Y, I like it. I'm gonna throw some B-roll up so you can kind of see it moving up and down and stuff. Really smooths out the ride. It almost feels like it's not back there. And part of that is we have a full-size, pickup, or I guess 3/4 ton heavy-duty pickup, and it just kind of fits. Like it's paired well together. What you do not want to do, and just hear me on this, you do not want to use a large pickup like this with a smaller trailer like ours, the 25 foot, and throw on some heavy equalizers, like equalizer E4 or even the Blue Ox at one of their heavier settings. If you do that, it is going to cause some issues on that trailer. So you want to make sure that you work with your local tech, your local service center. And if you got a bigger truck and you're with a smaller trailer, you want to be in a lower setting. You still want it to tow well, so we're not saying that it shouldn't tow well, but you want that to be on a lower setting so that you don't have too much pressure on your front tongue jack, on your front, the frame there. If you don't know, the best way to toast bread is right after you fry up some bacon. Throw the bread on there. It is tremendous. So basically, to sum up the video, I really like towing on the ball. As of right now, we're not changing. We're not going back to using a sway control system or equalization bars. It's so much easier to unhook and hook. You don't have the bars. You don't have to store the bars anywhere. It just tows great. It's great towing experience. Laura's towed with it. We've not had any issues with her. You do want to practice if you are in a sway situation that you're ready to squeeze the trailer brake. So apply brakes to the trailer and not the truck. That tension of the trailer pulling against the truck will pull it back in line and take care of your sway. So practice all those things. Watch lots of videos. Do lots of research. But as far as our experience has been, we have enjoyed towing just on the ball with our Gen Y Torsion hitch. I'm not endorsed. I pay for that hitch myself. I have no affiliate links or anything with Gen Y. So this is just what Laura and I think, and I mean, we like it, and we're going to keep doing it this way. You need to figure out what's going to work best for you, for your tow setup, for your trailer, and then go with that. And if it's with bars, that's fine. Tow with bars. Like there's no reason not to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with towing with bars. We've just decided to not do that and to tow on the hitch. But I've also got a lot of experience. If you're brand new, you're new to towing, new to Airstream ownership, then I would probably say start with bars. Start with a Blue Ox Sway Pro or something like that. Again, not endorsed by Blue Ox. Just saying that I think it would be a good idea to start with bars. I hope you found this helpful. Leave comments down in the, leave comments down below. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer every question I've got. Hope you guys are having a great week. We'll see you down the road. Thanks. Bye.